The first message arrived exactly 33 days after the funeral. It was a Tuesday, the kind of Tuesday that crawls. Rain gnawed at the windows, and the house smelled like unopened closets. I was sorting her old scarves, trying to decide which ones to keep, which ones to give away, when my phone lit up. Unknown number. A single voice note. 22 seconds long. I stared at it. The preview waveform pulsed softly, like a heartbeat trying to come back to life. I pressed play. Hey, it's me. Please don't freak out. I know this is strange, but I need to tell you something. Not all at once. Just listen when you're ready. It was her. Caroline.my dead wife. At first, I thought it was AI. A sick prank. Deepfake audio. A cousin. With a cruel sense of humor. But then I played it again. The cadence. The breath at the end. The way she always paused before saying listen. That was Caroline. It wasn't a recording I knew. I had saved her voicemails. This wasn't one of them. It was new. I didn't sleep. The next day, another message. There are things I kept from you. Not out of malice. Out of fear. And maybe out of shame. I'll send you one message a day. You don't have to respond. You just have to know. I didn't tell anyone. Not my sister, not the grief counselor, not my therapist. Because how do you explain that your wife is speaking to you from beyond? Not like a ghost, not like a dream, like a woman still holding secrets, and day by day, those secrets began to unravel me, because Caroline was many things. Beautiful, brilliant, mysterious, but faithful? Maybe not. The third message was longer. His name was Leo. We met at the conference in Santa Barbara. I told you I was sick that weekend, remember? You brought me soup. God, you were so good. And I was so lost. I froze. That was 2 years ago. A business trip I never questioned. She continued. He had a scar down the left side of his neck. Said he got it during a protest in Caracas. That should have been my first warning. But he made me feel electric, like the world cracked open when he walked in. I sat on the floor. Same spot. Her scarf still on my lap. The green one, the one she wore the day we adopted our dog, felt heavier now. It only happened once, she said. At the beach. House. It was raining, and I told you I'd extended the trip for networking. We drank red wine. He touched my ankle. I didn't stop him. I didn't remember rain that week. I remembered believing her. I remembered texting her goodnight and getting back. I miss you. Be home soon. I remembered her coming back tired. But with flowers, daisies. She hated daisies. The fourth message, you didn't deserve that. I need you to know I knew that, even then. I told myself I'd never do it again. And for a while, I didn't. But Leo, he stayed in my head. Like a song I didn't even like, but couldn't stop humming. She didn't sound like someone bragging. She sounded like someone bleeding. But bleeding doesn't make the wound less real. That I drove to the coast, that I needed to see the beach house she spoke of. I found it on her old email receipts. Airbnb. 2 nights. Ocean view. 1 guest. The host still lived next door. She remembered Caroline. She was lovely, the woman said. Always humming. Had a man with her. Tall. Spanish accent. Played guitar on the porch. Not me. That I don't play guitar. That I stood on the shore for hours. The same beach she stood on with him. Waves rolling in like punishment. That I thought about the scar. About the wine. About her ankle. About how many times she said, I only love you. I thought I understood grief. But grief layered with betrayal? That's another species of pain. Message 5 came that night. I thought I could carry it forever. Just tuck it away. But love built on lies is like a house on sand. Eventually, everything shifts. She paused. I waited for more. This is only the beginning. And then the message ended. I listened to it again. This is only the beginning. 8 words. Enough to shatter the version of Caroline I built in my head after she died. And enough to tell me, this was no accident. This was a confession layer by layer, truth by ugly truth. And I had no choice but to keep listening. The 6th message began with music, not a song, just humming. Soft, minor key, a tune I couldn't place but felt like something from a lullaby. Or a warning. After Leo, I tried to stop. I really did. But desire doesn't always ask permission. Sometimes it kicks in the door, wearing your favorite scent. There was another man. You never met him, but you saw him. Once. I'm sure you did. At the New Year's gala 2 years ago, he stood by the fireplace, in a navy suit, sipping brandy. His name was Mark, and for 6 months, I was his. Mark.my stomach turned. I remembered that night. I remembered the fireplace. I remembered thinking he looked like a movie. Producer, sharp jaw, slicked hair, eyes that didn't blink. He shook my hand, said, "Lucky man." I thought he meant Caroline. He did, just not the way I assumed. I drove to the city that day. Found the hotel where the gala took place. At the front desk, I asked for old guest ledgers. Cash under the table helped. Grief has a way of justifying dirty things. Mark Wilburn. Checked in 2 days before the gala. Room 1409. One guest. The receptionist tilted her head. We remember him. He came often. Always had a woman with him. Blonde. Classy. Bit sad looking, but sweet. Caroline wasn't blonde. Not then. 7th message. I dyed my hair for him. Isn't that insane? You always loved my natural color. But he said blondes looked better under chandelier light. He said I shimmered. And I wanted to shimmer. Just once. For someone who looked at me like I was dangerous. We met once a week. Room 1409. Same wine. Same playlist. Same perfume. I broke the bracelet you gave me once, when I was taking it off for him. It snapped on the carpet. I cried for an hour. He thought it was about him. I searched her jewelry box. The bracelet was there. Restrung. One bead missing. I never noticed, because I never checked at 18 night. I played our wedding video. Caroline dancing, laughing, holding me like I was the center of gravity. Maybe I was, but gravity isn't always enough to hold someone down. Sometimes they want to float. 8th message. I think I loved him. Not the same way I loved you. With you it was roots. With him wings. But wings burn. And he burned me. He ended it. Said I was getting too serious. Said he didn't want to break up a marriage. The irony, huh? I cried for weeks. And you held me, thinking it was about my job, my mother, anything but the truth. You were always so kind. It made lying feel crueler. But I kept doing it. I think I was addicted. To guilt. To danger. To disappearing into someone else's arms. I screamed into a pillow. Not for drama, for silence. Because I didn't want the neighbors to hear what betrayal sounds like at 2 a.m. She wasn't just unfaithful. She was methodical. 2 men, 2 lives. A necklace for Leo. A bracelet for Mark. And now I wondered how many more. Because the 9th message had already arrived. And it was titled, The One You Know. The 9th message started with a sigh. This one hurts to say. Because he was yours before he was mine. And I never planned it. I swear to you, I never did. It was the cabin. That weekend you had the flu. He came up to help. Me set it up. Remember? You insisted we go anyway. Said the fresh air would help me clear my head. I knew who she meant before she said it.James.my best friend since college. He helped me move into my first apartment. He gave the toast at our wedding. He held me the night my father died. And now, he held her too. It started with a fire. She continued. The power was out, and we opened a bottle of wine. He made a dumb joke. I laughed too hard. Maybe I wanted to. Maybe I needed to. He kissed me first. I should have stopped it. I didn't. We told ourselves it was the wine, the cold, the loneliness, anything but the truth. We slept together 3 times. That weekend, I couldn't breathe. 3 times. While I was home, sick, dreaming of her curled up in blankets, reading by the fire. Instead, she was curled up in him. 10th message. We promised it would never happen again. We lied. Not to you. To ourselves. It happened 4 more times. Once in your own house, while you were away at the conference. I checked my calendar. That trip to Chicago. 3 days that I had asked James to check in on her. He did. Too well that I called him. Straight to voicemail. That I didn't leave a message. What could I possibly say? Did you love her? Was I a joke? Who else knows? I didn't want answers. That I wanted silence. 11th message. He said he loved me once. I pretended not to hear it. I think part of me wanted him to say it again, just to see if he meant it. But he never did, because he wasn't in love with me. He was in love with your life, with the way you loved me, with the warmth. He could never build on his own. He wanted your happiness. So he took it. I dropped my phone, let it sit there, buzzing. vibrating with her voice that I didn't want to hear anymore. But I picked it up. 12th message. I'm sorry. I don't expect forgiveness. I only want you to understand. Every time I cheated, it wasn't about them. It was about me. About holes in me that I tried to fill with strangers. But you were never a stranger. You saw all my cracks. You just never tried to seal them. You let them breathe. That's why it was harder with you. Because love without lies is terrifying. You were the only real thing I ever had. And I destroyed it. I wept, not because she cheated, but because she understood what she lost. And because some part of me, some broken, loyal, aching part, still loved her. Even now, even here, even after death. 13th message. He was different. Not younger, not older, not richer or poorer. Just invisible. Until he wasn't. I met him at the library. Not even trying. I bumped into his stack of books. One fell. I picked it up. He smiled. I smiled back. You were working late a lot back then. You were building something. I was unraveling. I paused the message. The library, she'd always said it was her escape. Her sanctuary. A place for peace. I never suspected it was a vault of sin. He wasn't the best lover. Not the most clever. But he listened. Really listened. He asked questions you didn't think to ask anymore. He remembered my favorite poem. He wrote it out for me once, in a coffee-stained notebook. I kept it under my pillow. You slept beside it, never knowing. I searched our bedroom that night. Under the pillows, behind drawers, nothing. Until I found the journal, wrapped in a sweater box. Hidden under winter scarves, the IT wasn't hers, the IT wasn't mine. The handwriting was elegant, masculine, precise. Pages of poems. Quotes. Notes about her smile, her laugh, the way she touched her hair when lying. There were pages addressed to me, but not meant for me. Does he know how lucky he is? Would he still want her if he knew how much she doubts him? She says she still loves him, but the way she kisses me says otherwise. 14th message. He never knew your name. I never told him. That was the rule. If it stayed nameless, maybe it would hurt less. He asked to meet me once outside the library. I said no. That was where the magic was. And magic doesn't work outside its walls. I ended it. Right after Christmas. You gave me a necklace. He gave me silence. And I chose you. But I never returned the notebook. Because some truths are too tender to throw away. I burned the journal, not for revenge. For release that I watched the pages curl. Watched his words vanish in smoke. But the voice didn't stop. 15th message. This is the last one. If you've come this far, you deserve it. I cheated. I lied. I hurt you. But I also loved you. Deeply. Terribly. Messily. You were my home. Even when I kept leaving it. I recorded these because I knew grief would lie to you. Paint. Me too clean or too cruel. But I wanted you to remember me human. Cracked. Failing. But trying. You asked once if you were enough. You were. I just didn't know how to be loved by someone who saw all of me. Silence. Then a whisper. Goodbye. I hope this sets you free. Clicked out. I deleted the messages. All of them. Then I sat in the quiet, and, for the first time since the funeral, I felt alone. Not haunted. Not betrayed. Just empty. And maybe that was the start of healing. Because truth doesn't always comfort, but it always sets fire to lies. And from ash, maybe something new can grow.